Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. Second day with the white-faced Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch, and I believe that in this light you get the best representation of the dial. Let's try to zoom in. You can see the 3 sunken-in subdials, and color-wise it's really completely white. The lacquer dial is of the greatest effect in person. So if you missed out on the Project Alaska, that's definitely going to be something very nice for you to consider. So it's the current version of the Speedy Pro. So you get that vintage style bracelet that angles directly, very light. It is not as smooth as the flat link of the super high-end Ed White. This one is really the smoothest bracelet. We can compare the two clasps. Quite different, very different. I think with the current Speedy Pro you get more of the vintage style, sort of a Jubilee style bracelet. Each link from here can be removed by screws, which is great. But it's smooth, and the underside of the watch is smooth as well. Let's take a look at the 3861 coaxial master chronometer. Wowzers, what an evolution. And yeah, a large part of the architecture remains from the original 321, but here you have some cams instead of the column wheel, of course, but now the meta certification, so 0 to +5 seconds a day, and some pretty good finishing. Look, machine certainly, but still looks good on those plates or bridges. Since I have it, I can show you what the 321 would look like. No point really comparing the two. The 321 is plated and inset gold and adjusted by hand. It's a completely different thing. Runs at 18,000 beats per hour, while we have 3 Hertz, so slightly faster for the current movement. And I gotta say, it feels good to have a master chronometer, METAS certified. Feels with the silicone hairspring, so no worry to get it magnetized. It's gonna be nice and accurate. And so yeah, it won't be as smooth, of course, because you don't have the column wheel. But it's very defined. It's a very defined click and a strong reset. Nice to have this this bracelet style. It's cool. And already I've been using a little bit the extension. I have it set just right for the wrist, but it's quite cold right now in Hong Kong, so when it gets hotter in the summer, I can just push and open and add just a couple of millimeters. They will be welcome. I like the look of this clasp, and it thins out quite a lot actually on the wrist. So it removes quite a bit of weight compared to the previous larger bracelet. But there you go. Obviously the star of the show is this lacquered dial, and yeah, very difficult to really capture it, capture the essence of it, capture the impression that you get when you see it. Also here you'll have a lot less loom than the typical Speedy because you have applied indices. See they come from the center of the dial over the recessed chapter ring there. I can zoom on them. Yeah, they're quite thick. Also at the 12, the two little round indicators. And so the loom is pushed all the way to a little, to the end, to a little square. And a pip of red on the second sand. I think if the whole second sand was red, it would be a lot closer to the Alaska project. Good question from Captain Danny was asking me, do you think this will calm a bit the secondary prices for the Alaska project? And I guess, you know, different movement, different bracelet, different era. I think a lot of people who wanted the Alaska will find true real happiness with this one. Although the true collector will still want the original Alaska with those original rocket style hands and the full set with the big, I think it's aluminum red protective cover. It's more of a collector's piece and certainly really beautiful. But to me, this white dial captures the impression, the contrast that you get, and there's yeah, I like all the black elements. Also, what is we could talk about is the Canopus Gold, so the white gold version of this that came out 2-3 years ago. Very nice version of the Speedy Pro. Always feel, you know, if you're gonna pay so much for the full gold, it would be nice to have something a bit special in the movement, not the exact same movement than the steel. And that Canopus Gold didn't have black indices. I think they're more like silver in color. I prefer the black. I prefer the strong contrast. This watch is noticeable from really from a distance. My God, I was wearing it today to go for lunch with the family, and my God, what a stunner! I have to say, I felt proud wearing this, especially since it just came out. Surely nobody noticed or knew what it could be. Probably people think it's a it's a moon swatch, but very cool. Speaking of the moon swatch, I do hope to see a Snoopy version soon, maybe right before the Watches and Wonders release. That would be quite a good coup, I would say, for Swatch. It would be nice to see that. So yeah, there's enough differences with the Mitsukoshi, the Alaska, the Tokyo 2020, Panda dial, the previous white versions that came before. The dilemma, I think, would be for people who have the black version of the 3861 caliber, the current caliber. It's tough to buy the same watch, right, just because of a change of dial. And so maybe some decisions will have to be taken. And I know my friend Simon has that one. Plus, he's got the Snoopy, the one that everybody wants. And the Snoopy also is the same movement. Yeah, if you buy this on top, you become a collector, right? It's not just for use anymore. You become a collector. I always say, you know, I try to have more of an assortment of watches rather than really a collection. But now at this point, obviously, I'm truly into the collecting. Gotta have them all kind of mentality, or gotta have all the ones that you like at least. And this is it's difficult to resist. It's really well made. And after all, it's just a simple color, and it's good that they bring it to the catalog. I think that's great. And in the past, by the way, there were other colors. You could get the brown dial. There's been, I think, green dials and other things. The brown dial, quite an interesting one. And it's funny when you see this one, you think of Snoopy now because of all the white. You almost see a Snoopy on this sub dial. It's quite close to the first Snoopy being all white, which is such a in demand watch, so high on the secondary market. So yeah, maybe Captain Danny, this is gonna calm down the secondary market for those Snoopies and Alaskas, because you get a very good movement, great bracelet, great clasp, extension, so all the modern stuff, the meta certification, you know, COSC certification, which you never got before, and it's just gorgeous and simple, right? You don't have the gimmick of the Snoopy or the Alaska hands. So wow, it's a very compelling package. I think if you, it doesn't detract from the other watches. It's great you have them as a collector, but this one gives you a great package. And yeah, you gotta see it in person. I hope the video does translate a bit. I think the texture of the dial doesn't show well on the video and pictures, but certainly the whiteness of it is shown pretty good here. So yeah, there you go. Any question, let me know. I think this is something that's going to be on my wrist a lot, especially having all the qualities of the modern Omega. This is something that's just something you want to keep on the wrist the whole week. No reason to change in the evening. Lately I was doing a bit of a rotation between the at white during the day at the office, in the evening, and at night I would wear the Omega, the James Bond 16th anniversary, which I love. It's so comfortable now. I got really used to this bracelet, to this mesh bracelet, and I always love to look at the back end, the business end, the Bond end of it. This is a watch I wear on the weekend because I'm less afraid of damaging it. Just love it. What a great few years Omega is having. They're really knocking it outside of the park with these releases. So yeah, no doubt that this is going to be super popular for a very long time. And of course, shot on the wrist. You can see how easy it is to wear. And as I said yesterday in my first video, I think that because the white is surrounded by the black bezel, it does wear quite small, especially with the new bracelet. To me, it wears quite petite on the wrist. Really perfect. And by the way, it's only 13.2 millimeters of height, so really not a very high watch. There you go. Bye bye, guys.